Okay, well, Diptyque Laurent joins us now for a look through the newspapers. Diptyque, we're going to start with those US congresswomen who have reacted to the president's tweets, calling them simply racist.
That's right. In those tweets, he told them in no uncertain terms to go back from where they came. The congresswomen have clapped back, calling his comments an intentional distraction from the shortcomings of his own administration. In the press, Eve, there's much condemnation too. Pretty clear what this cartoonist for the pan-Arab paper Al Arabi Al Jadid thinks of Donald Trump, likening him there to a Nazi with racist, xenophobic hate speech on Twitter.
Inspiring cartoonists and also a lot of opinion pages, I imagine, written about the affair.
Well, there's a really interesting analysis from the New York Times today that looks at why Republicans as a whole have been loath to condemn Trump's abhorrent comments. And according to this article, it's really a combination of factors. First of all, for their own political survival and fear of reprisal, Republican lawmakers aren't saying too much, but also because they are trying to make the fight against progressivism the central theme of the 2020 election. And this kind of plays into that, really. For the Wall Street Journal, this, quote, bonfire of inanities between Donald Trump and the Democrats is a new low. The paper noting that it is also a distraction from the Democrats' escalating intra-party feud that's going on right now over leadership of the party. What Donald Trump doesn't understand, the journal says, is that Democrats want to make the 2020 election about his words and his behavior. In other words, a referendum on Trump's character, whereas he could win a debate on policy.
Okay, let's move to Italy now. And an ally of Interior Minister Matteo Salvini has been questioned over his alleged secret Russian oil deal.
That's right, Gianluca Savoini. He's the close aide of Matteo Salvini. He didn't offer much on Monday, invoking his right to remain silent. Salvini's close aide is accused of brokering or helping broker a secret oil deal to divert nearly 60 million euros to Matteo Salvini's Northern League party. The scandal is not a new one, but it came to light again in a BuzzFeed article last week. Salvini, for his part, has denied knowing anything about it. And in the press, we see a bit of sympathy for Matteo Salvini. Libero, which is a populist paper, calls it Salvini's ordeal, noting that voters aren't bothered by the scandal because in the polls, Salvini is ever more popular, and this won't do anything to dent that. Salvini's a hostage of Savoini and Siri, the anti-establishment Il Fatto Quotidiano says on its front page. Siri referring to Armando Siri, and not the Apple assistant, a former member of the government who brought much headache to Salvini over a corruption scandal back in April.
Finally, Diptyque, in New Zealand, a couple of penguins are defying perhaps law and order by shacking up in a sushi shop.
That's right. Radio New Zealand tells us that the Department of Conservation is on high alert after two little blue penguins were removed not just once but twice from under a sushi food truck in Wellington. The birds were quietly shacking up in the undercarriage of the food truck, with the truck having the ideal temperature ahead of nesting season. They were lured out by some fresh salmon, but later in the afternoon, they ended up back there, and locals say they'll probably come back at some point. Now, on the topic of New Zealanders, they might be licking their wounds after losing the Cricket World Cup, but there's more bad news for them. Residents in Dunedin have now lost the mantle for the world's steepest street, losing to a street in Wales that takes the top prize with a gradient of 37.5%.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there. Diptyque Laurent, thanks a lot for that. That's it for this edition. Do take care.